My parents were looking for a marriage partner for me. After the news spread, my archenemy Mark, who I hadn't been in touch with for a long time, suddenly came to visit. "What are you doing here?" Mark's eyes were deep. "Propose marriage." "The story is about to begin. If you like it, remember to like and follow." When I pushed the door open, I saw my archenemy Mark appear in my house. He was dressed in a suit and tie, sitting upright, with mature and handsome features, a calm temperament, and a faint smile on his face. The table was almost piled high with gifts, and Mark's father and mother also came. I was stunned for a moment, then frowned. "Mark, what are you doing in my house?" Mark's eyes were calm and his voice was light. "I'm here to propose marriage." I gasped and widened my eyes. "Did you take the wrong medicine? This is simply an international joke. What the hell is this bastard doing?" My mother frowned. "Linda, how can you talk like that?" "Mark, don't mind it." Mark smiled faintly. "It's okay, Auntie, I don't mind. These two children grew up together, and the two families know each other well. If they really get together, I will feel relieved." My head was buzzing. I went out for a trip and when I came back, the whole world had changed. Some time ago, my family said they wanted to arrange a business marriage, but they were still selecting a partner. I directly stated my requirements: a handsome man, about 1.85 meters tall, with 8-pack abs, good character and personality. My mother called me last night and told me that she had found it and asked me to come back and take a look. I quickly bought a plane ticket and came back, and saw this thing sitting in my house early in the morning. I have been at odds with Mark since I was a child, and we became sworn enemies when we were in college. Mark is 5 years older than me and is my advanced math teacher. He gave me a high score of 59 in the final exam, but I failed the supplementary exam and had to retake it. I seriously suspect that he was targeting me on purpose. He obviously had a family fortune to inherit, but he chose to be a university teacher. After I graduated from college, Mark resigned again. The two families discussed the matter lively and made a reservation at a restaurant to go out for lunch at noon. "Linda, take Mark's car." "No, Mom and Dad, I'm with you. There's not enough room." "Let's take one with your dad and Mom. This way we can save fuel." I looked at Mark behind me for help with an awkward look. He definitely didn't want to ride in the same car with me. Mark met my gaze, opened the car door, and said in a low voice, "Come in, don't waste time." The atmosphere in the car was a little unnatural. I cleared my throat. "Mark, are you also forced by your family?" There was a silence and Mark didn't answer. "I remember you had someone you liked before, didn't you? Some time ago, a group of people gathered together to play Truth or Dare." When asked if there was a girl he liked, Mark nodded undeniably. "Did you break up? The girl doesn't like your bad temper. You have a cold face all day long and never smile. Any girl would be scared away by you. I'm almost 30 now. If I don't take the initiative, I'll be an old man." When the car reached the red light, it slowly stopped. Mark took out a bottle of water and curled his lips. "After talking so much, my mouth is dry. Drink some water. This smile is really weird." I touched my arm and got goosebumps. Mark suddenly leaned forward, and I could feel the man's strong and cold aura. I shrank back, and Mark leaned forward a little, and the distance between us quickly closed. He took a deep breath, trying to calm himself down, and said in a trembling voice, "Mark, what's the matter?" Mark had a smile hidden in his eyes. "Linda, please fasten your seatbelt." I pursed my lips, my hands moving in a flustered manner. "You don't need to do this kind of thing for me, I can do it myself." He whispered okay. When we got to the underground garage, I unbuckled my seatbelt and told them, when they bring up the idea of marriage, we should reject it together. If no one agrees, they won't force us together. He looked indifferent and looked down at his phone. "I take it as your consent. Give me back my water, I am thirsty." "You don't have any in the car?" "Just this one bottle." "Here you go. Here you go." After getting off the car, the two of them walked one in front and one behind, deliberately quickening their pace to increase the distance between them. After entering the box, I deliberately chose a seat farthest away from Mark. As soon as we sat down, the adults started chatting. When they came to the topic that brought Mark and I together, I pretended to be deaf-mute and lowered my head to eat the food in the bowl. The round dining table is very large, and the crab roe tofu that I want to eat is right opposite it. I look at it eagerly, but I decide to wait for it to slowly move over here. The turntable started to spin. I looked up and saw Mark talking to the elders. His tone was humble and polite, and his slender fingers were spinning the dial. The crab roe tofu stopped just as it reached me. I scooped a spoonful and put it into the bowl to mix with rice. While we were enjoying our meal, my dad suddenly asked, "Mark, do you think you would like to be with my Linda?" "I agree, Uncle." The rice in my mouth almost spit out, and I was stunned. I suddenly lost my appetite and sat up straight with my body tensed. Ha 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 ha, I'm also very happy that Linda can come to our Mark family to be a daughter-in-law. I glared at Mark fiercely, then took out my phone and bombarded him with anger. You liar. Didn't we just discuss this in the car? You scheming man. What big move are you planning? The phone on the table vibrated several times in succession. Mark glanced at me indifferently without looking at the phone. I looked resentful, wondering why no one asked for my opinion. The adults were happy and drank some wine. Mark also drank some and a faint pink appeared on his face. My mom came up to me and said, "Linda, Mark has been drinking. Please drive him home. As it happens, I have something else I want to ask him. Give me the car keys and I'll take you home." His eyes were a little dazed, and he stretched out his hand obediently and handed over a bunch of keys. "It looks like he drank a lot." "Inside the car?" I asked. "I just sent you a message, why didn't you reply to me immediately?" Mark glanced at me nonchalantly and said, "You're not my girlfriend, why should I reply right away? I'm your fiancé." His eyes darkened, and he smiled faintly and agreed, "Okay, I will reply immediately when I see your message next time." I was almost fooled by him. "Who is your fiancé? Why didn't you refuse her at the dinner table just now? Didn't we discuss it?" "Linda," then I heard the man's even breathing. No matter how I called him, he wouldn't wake up. My face turned dark. The car drove to his neighborhood. "Mark, wake up, we're home." He raised his eyes slightly, opened them, and whispered, "Thank you. I'll leave when I wake up. Can you help me up?" I frowned slightly. "Your legs are fine, walk by yourself. I feel a little dizzy and can't stand steadily." He was a good person and held Mark with both hands, as if he was helping an old man cross the road. The door was unlocked. This was my first time in Mark's apartment. He is a misophobe and usually entertains guests outside. Standing at the door, "I'm leaving first." He took out a pair of pink women's slippers from the shoe cabinet. The pattern on them was exactly the same as the pair he was wearing. They were a couple's pair. "Come in and have a cup of tea before you go." "I don't like tea, you drink it by yourself." "There are a few bags in the bedroom. Kelly bought them for you. She forgot to give them to you." His eyes lit up. Although his relationship with Mark was not very good, his relationship with his sister Kelly was very good. The last time Mark went to the UK to see Kelly, she bought me a few bags and jewelry and asked Mark to bring them back. I haven't asked Mark to pick it up yet. "Change your slippers. I don't want to wear these. They are new and no one has worn them. There are only 2 pairs of slippers in the house. Don't go without slippers and make my floor dirty." Bending down and putting on slippers with disdain. "Give me the things, and I'll leave after you get them." "Wait, I'll go look for it." A tempting aroma came from the kitchen. I smelled it and swallowed unconsciously. I didn't eat enough at the dinner table just now. Mark came out of the bedroom with several bags in his hands. "You have something stewing in the kitchen." He nodded and said calmly, "Do you want to stay for dinner?" "What did you cook?" "Soybean pork trotters, and I'm going to cook some side dishes tonight." "When did you stew it? Won't it get burnt?" "I started stewing in the morning and set a timer so it won't get burnt." I swallowed and said, "You stewed a few pig's feet." He curled his lips and raised the corners of his eyes. 3. "Do you want to eat here tonight?" I pursed my lips and said, "No, can you let me pack one?" He refused mercilessly, "You can only eat if you stay." "So what are you cooking tonight?" "Stir-fried beef, vinegar-fried potatoes, and scrambled eggs with shrimp. It just so happens that we haven't settled our bills for today yet, so I'll stay for dinner tonight and we'll settle them slowly. You can't eat for free, so help me with some work." He unbuttoned his shirt cuffs and rolled up his sleeves, revealing a section of his strong forearms. "What?" He put on the apron, with the 2 straps at the back hanging loose. He turned his back to me and said calmly, "Help me tie it on." Where he couldn't see, she glared at him and tied a knot. I sent a message to my mother telling her that I would not be back for dinner that night. The voice on the other end was excited, "Get along well with Mark, and take as long as you want for dinner." An hour later. The food is ready, come and serve the rice. Here it comes. Here it comes. Help me untie the straps at the back first. I was stunned. I had just tied a knot on purpose, and I even tied another knot on top of it. Wait a minute. I bent over for a long time and was sweating profusely. He suddenly turned around, and my forehead hit his hard abdominal muscles. It's so hard. He rubbed his forehead. He half closed his eyes and looked at me in confusion. Did you tie a knot on purpose? I just tied it casually. Besides, you bumped into me and bruised my forehead. Let me see if I want to apply some safflower oil. It's not that exaggerated. You should work on your abdominal muscles. They're all soft. Really? Then you just said it was hard. On the dining table. Putting aside Mark himself, the food he cooks is really delicious. Mark, the food you cook is really delicious. Is it because you stewed the pig's trotter a little too much? A smile flashed across his eyes, and his voice softened a bit. Pack some for your uncle and aunt to try later. The chopsticks in his hand stopped moving, and he pursed his lips. I was just about to pack a portion of pig's trotters to take back. Didn't you say I couldn't? If we can't finish the food now, it won't be a waste if we don't pack it up and take it back. After you finish eating, I'll take you back later. No, I'll take a taxi back later. We have spent enough time together today. When I was lying in bed after taking a shower at night, I realized that I had not yet settled the bill at his house. A message was sent. You haven't answered my question yet. What happened to you at the dinner table today? The next second, Mark sent a message. It's just what you heard. Go to bed early, good night. I sent him messages again, but he ignored me. A week passed and no one mentioned this incident again. I didn't even see Mark. I thought it was just a joke from the adults and didn't take it seriously. I was going to attend a charity dinner in the evening, and my mother prepared a high-end dress and jewelry, and specifically asked me to wear them that night. The dresses I prepared in the past were all very low-key and elegant. I took a look at the creamy satin strapless dress in front of me, embellished with Baroque pearls. The dress fits me very well, as if it was tailor-made for me, outlining my slim figure, a bit like a dress I would wear for an engagement. After dressing up for an hour, I went downstairs and saw Mark. My steps froze, my smile froze on my face, and my eyes widened. Why are you here? Mark was wearing a gray suit with a vest underneath and shiny black leather shoes. He looked dignified and calm. He stood straight downstairs with his eyes lowered. It was unknown what he was thinking. His stern brow seemed gentle at this moment. The brooch on her chest is somewhat similar to the necklace hanging around my neck, and the two of them look like couple outfits. Robert is in the hospital with a broken leg and can't go. I don't believe it. Call him and ask him. I made several calls but no one answered. I frowned. He had agreed to be my male companion, so why didn't he come or even say hello? I looked down at my dress, then at Mark. If I were to be misunderstood, my reputation would be ruined. Wait, let me change into a dress first. Mark reminded calmly, time is running out, there is still half an hour left. Then let's go, let's go. Inside the car, the driver sat in the front and drove, and Mark and I sat in the back. Through the rearview mirror, I could see two people sitting together, their eyes fixed on the brooch on Mark's chest. The more I looked at it, the more I disliked it. It was exactly the same as the necklace accessory on my neck. When we get to the dinner, people who don't know the situation will probably misunderstand that we are a couple. Will I still need to find a partner in the future? I reached out to take off the necklace from my neck, but my arms were sore and I couldn't untie it. Mark sat aside, his voice sounded nonchalantly. Do you want me to help you? I refused bluntly, no. 3 minutes later, the necklace and dress hair got snagged. I couldn't pull it apart no matter how hard I tried. With an embarrassed expression, he turned to look at Mark. He was looking down at his phone, his eyes focused. She gently tugged at the corner of his clothes and said in a low voice, "Help me." He raised his eyes, pursed his lips, and said lightly, "What?" He did it on purpose. He repeated patiently, "Help me. My hair got tangled in my necklace." He looked straight at me and said calmly, "You have to promise me one thing first." "What is it?" "Tell me." "I haven't thought about it yet. I'll talk about it later. Except for the money, everything else is fine." He curled his lips and said in a pleasant voice, "Okay." I turned my back to Mark and straightened my back. The slender fingers stroked across the neck, and the neck stiffened slightly. Is it untied? The two of them were very close to each other, and he could smell the faint woody scent on him, and heard Mark's cold voice in his ears. Don't move. It's been so long and it's still not healed, Mark, can you do it? Almost, it's a little tight. After a while, he said, okay. The black Kian also arrived at its destination, but the necklace was not taken off after all. As soon as the banquet arrived, the whole focus shifted to Mark. I was about to slip away when Mark grabbed me and said, don't run around. Hold on to me. I want to go shopping. I promised Uncle and Auntie to take good care of you. Have you forgotten how you fell into the swimming pool last time? She pinched his arm secretly and whispered a threatening warning in his ear, shut up and don't mention it again. I have told this little thing almost 800 times. At my 18th birthday party, I wore high heels for the first time and was not used to it. When I passed by the swimming pool, I accidentally slipped and fell into the pool. I can't swim and almost choked to death. I was finally sent to the hospital. Mark curled his lips. If you don't want me to mention it again, just hold me tightly and don't do anything tricky. The banquet was filled with toasts and was attended by bigwigs from the political and business circles, as well as celebrities. Many people came to talk to Mark, and I stood aside with my mouth almost frozen from smiling. With a casual glance, I seemed to see a familiar figure. Some were not quite convinced, their eyes penetrated through the crowd and stared at the figure just now. Until he turned around, his eyes lit up. He is a male star that I just fell in love with while watching a TV series some time ago. It was too offensive to just go up and say hello, so I pulled Mark's sleeve. He lowered his head and said in a low voice, "What's wrong?" I raised an eyebrow and he followed my gaze. I said with some excitement, "Do you know him?" "He's the famous star Zhou Jingshan." He nodded, "Yes. He has a girlfriend." "I didn't ask you that." "It's not public. They are already engaged and will get their marriage certificate next month." "Can you get me an autographed photo?" "Cannot." "Why?" "It's just a small matter. I don't know him very well." The next second, Zhou Jingshan came over with a wine glass and said in a familiar tone, "Boss." I looked up at Mark and frowned. "Is this what you mean by not familiar with him?" His eyes were calm and his voice was cold. "On the weekend, we don't talk about work." After saying that, he turned and left with me. In the empty corridor, I complained, "Didn't you say you two weren't familiar with each other? He even called you boss." "Mark, you are so stingy. I just asked you to help me get an autographed photo. It was just so close." I was so angry that I was speechless and stared at Mark with resentment in my eyes. "I'll help you next time. Why didn't you just ask for it?" He tugged at his tie. "You're not my girlfriend, why should I satisfy you right away?" I was speechless for a long time, wanting to say something in rebuttal, but then I felt that what he said seemed to make sense. I seldom attend such parties, but today is a special day because it is my parents' wedding anniversary and they want to spend some time alone, so they left this event to me. I finally made it to the auction. My legs were sore, but when I sat down, my whole body felt much more relaxed. Mark turned around and asked, "Are you feeling unwell?" She looked forward and ignored him, still sulking about what had just happened. He was deliberately going against me. "Would you like something to eat?" "I have chocolate." My voice became a little colder. "Mark, I need to remind you that we are in a cold war now. Don't talk to me. Thank you for your cooperation." "Okay, I'll cooperate fully." The first few rounds of auctions were all about antiques, calligraphy and paintings, and the two of them didn't say a word. I secretly competed in my heart, whoever speaks first is the puppy. The following item is a pair of earrings designed by Camila Designer. The reserve price is $200,000, you can start bidding now. 230,000. 250,000. I held up the sign, 280,000. The man quickly followed up, 500,000. The price kept getting higher and higher, reaching 7 figures, with a serious premium. I feel a little depressed. The jewelry is very beautiful, but it is very expensive. Mark silently raised the sign, 3 million. As soon as the words fell, no one followed. $3 million. I was shocked and my eyes widened. The low price was $200,000, and the deal was sold for 3 million. I guess Mark must have taken the wrong medicine recently. He muttered in a low voice, disrupting market prices. A man's cold voice came from the side, "Do you want it?" "Hmm?" He raised his head in a daze. He didn't look at me, but focused his eyes on the front. The auction was still going on. I patted Mark lightly and blinked. Ask me again. Do you want it? Think. Didn't you just tell me not to talk to you? Mark, when did you start to listen to me so much? Then answer me a question. You say. Mark turned his head and lowered his eyes. His pupils were dark and his Adam's apple rolled slightly. Who do you think is more handsome, me or Shin-Chin? I answered without hesitation, you are handsome, you are 10,000 times more handsome than him. Mark's eyes moved, the corners of his lips curled up, and he said calmly, I give it to you. Praise me more. Mark has a fair complexion and gentle and superior eyes. I stared into his eyes and praised him. Boss Mark is awesome, Boss Mark is the most handsome. Whoever becomes Mark's wife will be happy. Mark's lips curled up slightly, revealing an indescribable sense of temptation, and his eyes were heavy. Then do you want to try it? Suddenly someone in front raised the price, and the voice was drowned out by the noise, so I couldn't hear what he just said. What did you just say? I said you're hard of hearing. Driving on the way home. I'm a little hungry. I haven't eaten since the afternoon until the evening. I swallowed my saliva and looked at the time. It would take about 10 minutes to get home. I stretched out my long legs and gently kicked Mark, who was sitting next to me. Have you had dinner tonight? He turned his head to look at me and asked bluntly, Are you hungry? What would you like to eat? I want noodles and eggnog. Driver, please stop the car in front, thank you. Just as he was about to open the door, Mark stopped him. Just sit in the car and don't get out. I'll go buy it. It's cold outside. 10 minutes later, Mark came over with a takeaway bag. He is a misophobe and doesn't like people eating in his car. The car door opened and he got in. I'll go out and eat. He glanced at me and said calmly, You don't want the skirt anymore? The skirt is a bit long and needs to be lifted. Just eat in the car, don't run around. In addition to scallion oil noodles, eggnog, and white sugar sesame cakes in the bag, which were sprinkled with sesame seeds and were still steaming, they looked very appetizing. He took off his suit jacket and covered my knees with it. It was still a little warm. Don't get your skirt dirty. There was another pack of tissues next to it. This bowl of scallion oil noodles is so fragrant, and there is a fried egg on top. Maybe I was too hungry. I felt a little full after just a few bites. After a few sips of eggnog, it was so comfortable. You won't eat noodles anymore? I'm a little full. Waste. If you think it's a waste, just help me eat some. He had no choice but to take the bowl and quickly finished it. The taste of the sesame cake is so delicious. I broke it open, and the white sugar liquid overflowed from the middle, accompanied by the aroma of sesame. It smells so good. Mark raised his eyebrows slightly. Didn't you say you were full and could eat more? You don't understand. What you just ate was salty, and now it's sweet. This cake smells really good. Come and try it. He handed the other half to him. The two of them spent more than 10 minutes finishing their dinner in the car. He took out a box of stomach-strengthening and digestion-promoting tablets from his suit pants. I ate too much at night. Take some stomach-strengthening and digestion-promoting tablets. I took it without hesitation and said thank you. The car arrived at the door and I got out and prepared to go home. Mark suddenly called me. He put his hand on the car window and said lazily, Linda. What's wrong? I treated you to dinner tonight, so you should treat me back. I was stunned. One should not burn bridges after crossing them, and if one is going to do so, it is not tonight. When are you free? I will treat you to a meal. Next Monday, I'll send you the address then. Good. It's just a meal. When I saw the address sent by Mark, I instantly wanted to strangle him to death. Located at a mountaintop restaurant. I sent a tentative message, Can I drive up the mountain? He simply replied with 2 words, climbing a mountain. You better not be kidding. Seriously. You are crazy. The next second, Mark called and explained, the mountain is not high. It can be climbed in half an hour, and there will be a meteor shower at night. What if I can't climb? There was a light laugh from the other side, and he said nonchalantly, I'll carry you up. I'm going to England on a business trip the day after tomorrow. Is there anything you would like? Please bring me some chocolate, the brand I like. On Friday, my friends and I made an appointment in the group to drive to a resort hotel to relax, where there are recreational facilities. Everyone responded that they wanted to go, except Mark. We all arrived at the hotel together, but I didn't see him, so he probably wouldn't come. The resort hotel faces the sea, and I went out for a walk with my friend Fanny in the afternoon. Linda, is it true that you and Mark are engaged? The juice in his mouth almost sprayed out, and he immediately retorted, "Don't talk nonsense, I have nothing to do with him." That's good, that's good. Have you seen today's trending searches? What's trending? Mark spent a night with an international supermodel in a hotel. Rumor has it that they are in a relationship. There are also photos, very high resolution, it is probably confirmed. I gritted my teeth, and an indescribable emotion spread in my heart, making me feel a little upset. Fanny sighed, "The girl is pretty and has a great figure. I didn't expect Mark likes girls like this. I used to think he liked you. I eat yours for a long time. It's such a pity that you two are not together." Bah. 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 Don't talk nonsense. Her girlfriend will be mad when she finds out. Linda, what would you like to eat tonight? You've been clamoring for seafood, haven't you? You can do whatever you want tonight, and we'll go have a barbecue together tomorrow. I took a sip of juice and said in a bad mood, "Fanny, I don't feel like eating anymore." Are you feeling unwell? No, maybe I'm too tired. Then go back to your room and rest. Uh-huh. I returned to the room, closed the door, and turned on my phone. The hot search about Mark's relationship had already reached second place. The first is about Mark's figure. In the photo, the female model was wearing a bathrobe and Mark's shirt had long been thrown away. With a bang, the phone fell on the bed. He cursed angrily, "Wild man." After taking a few slow, deep breaths, I gradually calmed down, and then I realized why I lost control of my emotions. What does Mark's love life have to do with me? This is a good thing. From now on, the two families will no longer force us to be together. After calming down, I sent him a message, "Congratulations." While taking a bath, I couldn't help but open the #1 trending search. The first thing that struck me was the photo of Mark with his upper body naked. Later on, I saw one after another of his wet swimming photos. It must have been the last time I fell into the swimming pool, and he pulled me out of it, and those were photographed. As I was paddling, my hand slipped and the phone fell into the bathtub. I tried to turn on the phone, but the screen went black. There was a feeling of depression in my heart that didn't dissipate for a long time. I didn't sleep well at night. In my dream, I kissed Mark's mouth so hard that it was broken. I suddenly woke up in the middle of the dream. How did I start having such a dream? The next day when I went out to play with a group of people, I was in a daze. It was not until the afternoon barbecue that I felt a little more energetic. Robert came over to gossip, "Is Mark in love?" Linda, you know what? How should I know? Go ask him. I narrowed my eyes and looked down at his feet. Didn't you break your leg? Why didn't you tell me last time that you couldn't go? Robert hesitated, "It's just a minor skin injury." Didn't Mark come to pick you up? I snorted coldly, "Traitor. Eat corn." I don't eat corn. Don't you like corn the most? If I don't like it, I don't like it. People's preferences change. I want to eat squid. Okay, here you go. He took a vicious bite and the food tasted bland. Without a cell phone, there is nothing to do. The burden of grilling fell on me. You guys go play for a while, I'll grill. Linda, you don't seem to be in a good mood today. The corners of his mouth turned up and he forced a smile. I'm fine. All that's missing is beating the drums and gongs and singing good days. I felt a heavy gaze above my head. Looking up, I saw Mark's tall figure standing in front of me, blocking the light source of his outfit. His eyebrows and eyes were dark, giving off a strong sense of oppression. The voice was cold, "I want a skewer of barbecue." I pursed my lips and snorted, "You have dark spots under your eyes. I'll give you a bunch of leeks to nourish your eyes." Mark repeated again, "I want to eat barbecue." Linda, I didn't have dinner. I curled my lips and glared at him, "If you want to eat meat, go find your girlfriend." Mark, I can explain. I looked up at him innocently, "What do you need to explain?" "I have nothing to say to you." He suddenly stood up and said calmly, "I'm a little sleepy. I'm going back to my room to sleep." He shook the bag in his hand, "I brought you some chocolate. I don't like it anymore, you can keep it for yourself." The man was silent for a moment, then chuckled, "Linda, you are not jealous." I glared at him, "Don't talk nonsense. Then why didn't you answer my calls or reply to my messages after seeing the trending search? What does it mean to just send a congratulations? The phone fell into the water and broke. He added coldly, "Don't be so self-indulgent. I won't be jealous of you no matter who I am jealous of." Mark's expression suddenly became serious. When I came out of the shower, she was already in my room wearing a bathrobe. I immediately changed hotels that night and nothing happened. My eyes involuntarily fell on his thin lips, and a thought suddenly emerged in my mind: he looks very kissable. His mouth felt dry, so he licked his lips. Crazy. Crazy. It must be because of the dream last night. That's why I behaved so abnormally today. I smiled wryly. Okay, I understand. Even though I knew the truth, I still felt a little unhappy. I didn't care much about Mark's affairs before. Why do I care so much this time? A terrible thought came to my mind at this moment. I dare not think about it that way at all. What kind of mess is going on in your mind again? I want the 8-pack abs of a male model. Mark's face darkened, and he pressed his forehead with a headache. Are you still angry? I'm not angry. You pout your lips very high when you're angry. Don't talk to me. He returned to his room angrily, turned on the TV and turned the volume up to the maximum. At night, someone knocked on the door. The door had just opened a crack, and he reacted and wanted to close the door instantly, but Mark's long and powerful legs squeezed in. I raised my head and frowned at him. What's the matter? A new phone. I took the phone from the box, which was still in its packaging. He held out his hand and asked Mark to go out. You can go now, Mr. Mark. I bought you a new phone, Linda. Why don't you buy me a cup of tea? I raised my eyebrows and smiled faintly. Of course. After that, he went to the bathroom and got a glass of tap water. Here. I got up early the next day and sent a message to Fanny to tell her that I was going back early. In the next few days, I started avoiding Mark. The dinner plan with Mark was also cancelled due to feeling unwell. In the middle of the night, feeling irritated, I drove out in one of my brother's sports cars. After he bought it, he was reluctant to drive it. This car was his treasure. The car started up with a series of honking sounds in the night, driving fast on the highway with a sharp engine sound. The pointer on the dashboard moved quickly and gradually disappeared into the night. All the restless elements were burning, and the unhappiness of the past few days dissipated at this moment. The moment I hit the tree, I felt dizzy and was still in shock. Fortunately, there were airbags, so I was fine, but my brother's car was damaged. I didn't dare tell my parents because they were still sleeping. My brother would be even more afraid to do that. He is now in Shanghai chasing his wife. If he knew that I secretly drove his car out in the middle of the night, he would lose all his pocket money for the year. It took several calls to Robert before he got through. The voice on the other end of the phone was lazy. Hello, Linda, what's the matter with you calling so late at night? I hit a tree with my car. Please come over here. I don't know what to do. Fuck. She screamed shrilly, and held the phone farther away. Keep your voice down. Are you okay? I'm fine, there's just something wrong with the car. Send me the location. 3 minutes later, Robert sent a voice message. I have something to tell you, Linda. There was a pause on the other end. Mark is coming to see you. How did he know? Did you tell him? We were drinking just now, and Mark was sitting next to me. 20 minutes later, a black Kian slowly drove over. Mark got out of the car exhausted, his handsome thin lips pressed into a straight line. His eyes narrowed slightly, and his voice was cold. Get in the car and wait, I will handle it. The car was towed away, and Mark got in. He still had a cold look on his body, and his originally clear jawline was sharper than ever. Gnashing his teeth, he said, You are really brave. I was so scared that I shrank to the side, pretending to be an ostrich. This was the first time I was so cowardly in front of Mark. Can you not tell my parents and my brother about this? Mark snorted coldly, glanced at me from top to bottom, and said lightly, Are you hurt? I shook my head. It seems not, I just feel a little dizzy. Does your leg hurt? It doesn't hurt, just a few minor scrapes. Where's the arm? Fine. Does your neck hurt? No. Why is there blood on your hands? I just slapped a mosquito to death. There are a lot of mosquitoes in the wild. I was bitten by several bags just now. As he said that, he handed his arm to Mark to see. There were several big lumps on it. It was so itchy. Mark suppressed his emotions and snorted coldly, You deserve it. Pull your trousers up so I can check them. Hiss, the knee was bruised and bleeding, which was scary to look at. Mark frowned slightly. Can you please let people be more careful? It doesn't hurt, huh? I bit my lip and gestured, it only hurts a little. Maybe I was too scared just now, so I ignored the pain in my leg. Now that everything has been dealt with, I feel at peace and my legs are starting to ache slightly. Where are you going? Isn't this the way home? Hospital. I'm fine, please drive home quickly. If my parents find out I'm not home, it will be a disaster. I'll explain to your parents, and you can stay at my house. Go to the hospital and get a checkup to see if your brain is damaged. Mark, you're the one with the broken brain. He curled his lips slightly. You are articulate and know how to refute. It seems that nothing will happen. Why are you driving out so late at night? On a whim. When we got off the car at the hospital, we asked, can you still walk? I nodded and said it should be okay. The friction between the wound and the cloth caused some pain. He frowned slightly and walked slowly, limping. He suddenly stopped, half squatted down, his dark eyes burning. Come up, I'll carry you. I'm not being pretentious, I just don't want to walk. She hugged his neck tightly and buried her head in his back. Your hair rubbed my face and it's a little itchy. I turned my head, ready to push my hair back, and pressed my lips to his neck. There was a loud bang in my head and my brain went blank. Mark paused, and could feel his back stiffen. He lowered his voice and said, don't move. If you fall, I'm not responsible. My face was already red, my ears were burning, and I let out a soft "oh." A brain X-ray showed no major problems, but Mark was still worried and asked to be hospitalized for observation for a day. In the ward, just lie down here and I'll go out and buy some things. If you feel unwell, remember to ring the bell to call the nurse. I asked cautiously, will you come back later? He laughed, why are you afraid that I will run away? Snored. I fell asleep in a daze, and in my dream I could faintly smell the scent of lilac floral water. The next day, a thin ray of sunlight came in through the window. I squinted my eyes slightly, but the sunlight was so bright that I could hardly open them. Mark stood with his back to me in the light and shadow, his facial features blurred, bending over to cut fruit. My heart trembled violently, as if touched by something, and my heartbeat began to gradually accelerate. Lift off the quilt and get out of bed. Mark looked back when he heard the voice and asked, are you feeling uncomfortable? Ah? I feel fine. I should be able to be discharged from the hospital today. Mark put the dishes in place, wash your face, brush your teeth, and come out to eat. After washing up, I came out and sat down. I was in a good mood and humming a song. He ruffled my hair and said, it's in good condition. Good. My sensitive sense of smell immediately allowed me to smell the cigarette smoke on Mark. You smoke? He was stunned for a moment. Did you smell it? I'm very sensitive to the smell of cigarettes. I just smoked one. He took off his coat, threw it on the sofa, and put on a black shirt. I took a sip of porridge. Don't you not smoke? Well, I suddenly wanted to smoke last night. Mark, what kind of girls do you like? He looked at me slowly and said, why do you suddenly care about this? I paused, feeling a little guilty, and turned my eyes away, eating a bite of the bun, just asking. I like the girls I like. What kind of answer is this? It's just a perfunctory one. Or do you like men? He didn't answer for a long time. I didn't think I had guessed it right. The mood is indescribably complicated. Linda. I really want to open your brain and see what's inside. I like girls. I secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Do you like smart, pretty, and well-built girls? Most men like this type. The female model who appeared in your room last time had a pretty good figure. She's an international supermodel. I, a woman, want to date her. Mark's face darkened and he sneered, I like stupid ones. This is very difficult for you. It's not difficult. I have one right next to me. Who is it? Who is it? Mark's dark pupils were filled with a dark light, and he slowly uttered a word, you. You are stupid. Mark explained slowly, I failed the exam twice because I don't know advanced math. I only got 2 multiple-choice questions right. I even got the formula wrong for the big questions later. I was so angry that I was speechless. I only got 2 multiple-choice questions right because I was unlucky, and I got the formula wrong because I was nervous about the exam and memorized it incorrectly. When I got home, my mom was gossiping, how is it? How is it? How is your progress with Mark? I frowned and waved my hand, no progress. How is it possible? Linda, do you have any feelings for Mark? He almost choked on his water and asked directly, anyway, I can see that the kid from the Mark family is really in love with you. He has liked you for a long time, but he just didn't say it. I narrowed my eyes, a little suspicious. Mom, how do you know that Mark loves me so much? Anyone with common sense can see that. I don't believe it. You're stupid, so you can't see it. It's really hard for him. If you didn't feel that way, Mom wouldn't have arranged this marriage. Your brother's meddling in all his affairs is enough to give me a headache. A little bit. My mother's enthusiasm was rekindled. Mark helped me this time, so I agreed to treat him to a meal. He sent a message in reply, "You owe me 2 meals." I chose the location. Unlike last time, I didn't choose a remote mountain restaurant. I directly booked the most high-end restaurant in the city. I usually can't afford to eat here, so I usually ask my brother to take me there. I followed Fanny to the mall again to pick out a gift for him. Fanny, what gift should I give to a boy? You want to give your brother a gift? I shook my head. That's Mark. No. That's it. You'd probably like anything you give him. I said it was either for him or for a friend. Fanny sneered, yeah, that's him, that's him. You gift-wrapped yourself for him. Can you please be serious? After choosing for a long time, my eyes are almost dazzled, and I still don't know what to give as a gift. A call was made to Robert. Give me pajamas. Last time I saw Mark's pajamas, they seemed to be almost worn out. I raised an eyebrow, are you serious? Of course. I listened to Robert's advice with some doubt and bought a set of pajamas. When I went back, I suddenly realized that my brain must have burned out, so I listened to Robert's advice. We went back to the mall. He liked playing golf, so he picked out a golf club, so it wouldn't be a wrong gift. On Wednesday at work, Mark sent me a message, do you want me to pick you up? Are you off work? Don't you usually get off work at 8 o'clock? It's only 5 o'clock now. I am the boss. There is still 1 hour left before get off work ends. Good. I ran to the bathroom and secretly put on some makeup and dressed up beautifully. Suddenly, I wanted time to speed up and get to 6 o'clock. After fishing for a while at my workstation, Mark sent me a message saying he had arrived. The corners of her lips curled up, and she went downstairs to find him with her bag. He was dressed very formally, leaning against the front of the car with a slender figure, and waved at me, here. Mark was standing across the street. His hair seemed shorter and he looked neat and tidy. Vehicles were coming and going, making the road congested. I jogged over and was nearly hit by an oncoming car. He frowned slightly, why are you in such a hurry? In the blink of an eye, a girl came over and asked for my WeChat. The girl's face was flushed, and it seemed that she had mustered up her courage. Her voice was soft and sticky, hello. Can you add a contact number? Mark pulled me over, put his arm around my shoulder, and said in a clear voice, sorry, my girlfriend doesn't like me adding people of the opposite sex on WeChat. I looked up at him and he was smiling genuinely. He pulled her into his arms again, yeah, girlfriend. The arms are warm and strong. My face turned red when Mark looked at me, my heart rate quickened, my eyelashes trembled, and I nodded. Girl, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had a girlfriend. You two look like a perfect match. I wish you a happy marriage. Mark raised his lips, thank you for your blessing. The girl left, and Mark patted my shoulder, I'm sorry for what happened just now. You were a shield for a while. He glanced at the empty shoulders and lowered his eyes, feeling indescribably depressed and irritated. The horn behind him sounded, and the handsome man leaned out of the window, his voice warm and deep, stupefied, get in the car quickly. There was a bunch of yellow tulips on the passenger seat, wrapped in newspaper, for me? Well, there was an old lady selling flowers at the intersection just now. It matches your dress today. I curled the corners of my lips, thank you. Inside the restaurant. You can order some food, but be frugal. Last time, after I repaired my brother's car, I lost several zeros in my WeChat. Mark flipped through the menu and said in a low voice, garlic butter shrimp, French butter stewed chicken, steak, Boston lobster, vegetable salad, and open a bottle of Normandy Conti for me. For dessert I want hazelnut milk chocolate. Is there any black tea here? Yes, sir. Make me a cup of black tea, not too strong. Okay. After glancing at the menu, I gritted my teeth and thought, very good, very good. The price of a bottle of wine directly emptied my WeChat and Alipay. The man raised his eyes, his eyebrows slightly raised, you don't look well. I frowned and said, did you do this on purpose? I may not even have enough money to take a taxi home today. I'll help you scan the shared bike later. Mark, you have such a cruel heart. Look at your phone. SMS reminder, 300,000 yuan has arrived in the bank card. Take a breath of cold air. He immediately changed his attitude and said with a flattering smile, Mark, is that enough? Do you want to add a few more dishes? He smiled and said, I'll be drinking later, so I might need someone to take me home. I gestured to him, no problem at all. The dishes came up one after another. You drink black tea, it helps digestion at night and nourishes the stomach. Do you want me to cut your steak for you, or do it yourself? Help me cut it, thank you. He chuckled softly and took the plate. Under the light of the glass, the man had a clear and handsome outline, a calm expression, and his slender fingers were cutting the steak elegantly. Mark? Looking up, the woman had big wavy hair, a black slim dress, fair skin, delicate and beautiful. She looked familiar, what a coincidence. Mark nodded politely and said politely, you eat here too. I'm here with my friend. This is. Mark looked at me, our eyes met, his eyes were dim, and his tone was serious, the person I am pursuing. The woman looked disappointed, but it was fleeting. She smiled again, looked at me, and said hello, hello. Hello, I'm Linda. What do you think about our last cooperation? It's after get off work, so let's not talk about business. Let's talk about it another day. The woman paused and said, well, I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. Suddenly I remembered that this was Elena, Mark's deskmate in high school. When I went to my brother's class to find him, I often saw Mark explaining questions to her. Occasionally you can still hear rumors about them. The two of them went to the same university. She clenched her fork. There was something wrong with the way Elena looked at Mark just now. It seemed like she still had feelings for him. My heart twitched and I frowned subconsciously, and my appetite was gone in an instant. Mark stopped the knife and fork in his hand and said calmly, you can ask me anything. Elena and I are just high school classmates. We have no relationship at all. I have never had any thoughts about her. Mark paused, then continued, also, I was serious about what I just said. I blinked. He looked at me and said seriously, I am pursuing you, Linda. I almost choked at Mark's frankness. Have some tea. I took a sip from the cup and asked in confusion, are you serious? He nodded, his voice low, besides, I can sense that you like me a little bit, right? Linda. I was stunned for a moment, took a sip of tea, and my face was already red. Drove Mark home and arrived at the door. He took a long time to unfasten his seat belt. I reminded him, we're home. His Adam's apple rolled slightly, and his voice was hoarse, I heard that you prepared a gift for me. After a pause, he thought it must be Robert who told the secret. At home, I'll give it to you another day. Okay, drive slowly and remember to send me a message when you get home. Mark, who had just walked into the door, suddenly turned back, leaned against the window, and asked in a low and deep voice, so, you don't object to me pursuing you, right? I raised my eyebrows and said reservedly, that depends on how you perform. My brother James came back. I don't know how he got the news, but he knew that I drove out in his sports car in the middle of the night. James' face was dark. Linda, you are really brave, how come I never noticed that you dared to drive fast in the middle of the night? I hunched my neck and sat on the sofa listening to him chattering on and on. Are you hurt? I immediately shook my head, no. Seeing that James was in a better mood, I said, brother, did you get your sister-in-law back? A handsome face quickly sank, there is no pocket money for next month. I won't tell my parents about this, but you have to write a 5,000-word self-reflection. My eyes widened. Wouldn't this hand be broken from writing? Don't even think about searching online. I can tell at a glance. I forced a smile. At night, I tried hard for a long time and finally managed to write 500 words, which is still far from 5,000. The phone was vibrating, Mark was video calling me. After hesitating for 5 seconds, he pressed the answer button. The picture flashed, and the handsome face of the man appeared in front of the screen. He had just taken a shower, his hair was slightly messy, and he was wearing pajamas. My eyes subconsciously moved downwards, this was the first time I saw him in pajamas. What are you doing? Writing a self-criticism. What's wrong again? Mark, were you the one who told my brother about that? He now wants me to write a 5,000-word self-criticism. Woohoo, my hands are almost broken from writing. How much have you written now? 500. An idea suddenly came to his mind, and his tone suddenly became soft. Brother Mark, can you help me? The man's Adam's apple moved slightly, and his voice was lazy and low. Speak properly, don't act like a spoiled child. Then could you help me, Mark? This must be easy for you. Of course I have to agree to my future girlfriend's request. Don't talk nonsense, I haven't agreed yet. He stared at me and smiled faintly. I have confidence. Then hurry up and write it. I have to hand it in the day after tomorrow. Wait a minute, don't hang up. He stood up, disappeared from sight, and a moment later came into the room with a laptop. In the quiet room, the sound of typing could be heard on the keyboard. I crawled into bed and watched TV series on my iPad. From time to time, she looked at the man on the phone screen. He was sitting upright, looking focused and serious, and his slender fingers were tapping the keyboard skillfully. He lowered his eyes, their eyes met, his dark eyes were filled with a smile. Sneak peek at me. I blushed and said, I am checking whether you are writing your self-criticism seriously. The man chuckled and said, you can watch it with confidence. Mark, are you trying to make me angry on purpose? I didn't peek secretly. How can I bear to do that? Smooth talk. I don't know when the video was disconnected. I fell asleep while watching a show last night. Mark sent the self-review the night before. And invited me to play golf this afternoon. It took me an hour to get dressed up, and I changed into sportswear, looking full of energy. I took the gift for Mark and was about to go out when I was stopped by my brother James. James seemed a little irritable, probably because he failed in his quest for his wife. Where are you going? Golf. With whom? Mark. He picked up the car keys. Let's go, I'll take you there. If you have a free driver, don't waste it. When we arrived at the destination, my brother James got out of the car. I frowned. Aren't you going home? I'm with you guys. I haven't seen him in a while. Oh. I took a golf cart to the golf course, took a look around, and saw a couple playing golf in the distance. Didn't see Mark. He sent a message saying that he had arrived a long time ago, and there was a photo of this place with his suit jacket on the stool next to him. The couple in the distance seemed familiar. The man had a slender figure, but they were too far away, so his outline was a little unclear. The woman's hands were around the man's waist and they looked like they were kissing. I turned on the camera on my phone and zoomed in until I could see the outline of the man's face clearly, and a layer of coldness gradually spread in my eyes. That woman is Elena. I threw the gift into the trash can, looked at my brother James, and said in a heavy tone, I suddenly don't want to fight anymore. Why do you suddenly not want to fight? I'm not feeling well. Then go back. On the way back, I sent a message to Mark saying that I was not feeling well and would not go. Even though what happened just now was a misunderstanding, I still felt a little uncomfortable. Less than a minute after the message was sent, Mark called me. What's wrong? Are you sick? I was silent for 5 seconds, and replied in a low mood, no. There was no sound on the other end of the line, and then I realized that the phone was out of battery and turned off. What a bad luck. I just got home and tripped over the threshold before I even entered the door. Now I really feel unwell. My ankle was slightly bruised and swollen. My brother James frowned. Why are you so absent-minded since you came back from the court? I pursed my lips and said, you've been in a bad mood since you came back from Shanghai, and you have a bad face. James ruffled my hair randomly and said, sharp-tongued, there is no medicine at home. I will go buy some. You just stay quietly on the sofa. I had just opened a novel and read for a few minutes when the doorbell rang. He muttered, why are you back so soon? The door opened, I paused, and said in a faint voice, Mark, why are you here? Mark glanced at me from top to bottom, holding a bag in his hand. It was filled with sanitary napkins and brown sugar water. You still use these? His frown relaxed at this moment and he explained, I bought it for you. His face turned dry. Oh, not here. That's not the reason, what is it? I lowered my eyes. Tell me, Linda. I'm worried about you. I looked up at him and said, I feel uncomfortable. He lowered his head to look at me, his eyes falling on his feet. Your foot is injured? Minor injury. Please sit down first. Do you have any medicine at home? I shook my head. No. It's in the car. I'll go get it. Don't lock me out later. A few minutes later, Mark came back with a medicine box. Do you have a medicine box in your car? It's for emergencies, like your current situation. Mark's palms are too big, and the veins on the back of his hands are bulging. His warm palms hold the ankle. The slender ankle in his hands seems like he can break it in the next second. I subconsciously shrank back, my ankle slipped out of his hand and was grabbed by him again. Don't move. Mark took out the iodine and cotton swabs and gently wiped the wound. Does it hurt? Somewhat. If it hurts, scream out. The force he used was slightly lighter. After a moment of silence, he looked me straight in the eyes and spoke slowly. Why do you feel uncomfortable, huh? Tell me, Linda. Mark said in a gentle voice, I can't sleep tonight if I don't coax you well. I was about to speak when the door lock turned. My brother came back, was stunned for a few seconds, and then exploded. Mark, take your hands off my sister's feet. You two are together? Mark helped me put on my shoes, stood up, and said in a slow and deep voice, it should be soon. I have something to talk to your sister about. Are you available? I can tell you where Nanine is. I heard that she resigned and left Shanghai to avoid you. Send it to me. After my brother left, there were only 2 people left in the living room again. I took out my phone and showed him the video I had taken. You guys were hugging each other and kissing. No, I still have my first kiss. We met by chance at the stadium. She came to me with a cooperation proposal and accidentally sprained her ankle and fell on me. The kiss you saw was probably misplaced. I'm sorry if it made you uncomfortable. Even though it's fake, I still mind it. I won't be working with her in the future, don't worry, Linda. This is the first time I've seen him admit his mistake. Linda, just forgive him. My brother suddenly opened the door, stuck his head out and advised. Have you been eavesdropping outside the door? You guys are talking too loudly. Mark looked at me solemnly. Linda, can you forgive me? My face felt hot and I nodded. Mark suddenly smiled and said, if something like this happens again in the future, just ask me directly. Don't sulk and make yourself uncomfortable, okay? Well, let's communicate well next time. This is the first time I've been so rational. Mark curled his lips. You are jealous, Linda. This is the second time. What? The second time was because I was jealous. Roll. I still owe Mark a meal and asked him how to pay it back. Mark, I am working overtime, can you come to the company and bring me food? When I saw the message, I raised my eyebrows. It just happened to save me money. Auntie prepared the food and made the soup. I packed up and drove to Mark Company. I arrived at the office and knocked on the door 3 times. Come in. The slender figure was reclining on the sofa, his shirt and suit were ironed meticulously, his bony fingers were flipping through documents, his expression was focused and serious. I'm here to deliver the meal. Mark stood up and took the thermos from my hand. Getting close enough, I could smell the light woody scent on him. You wear perfume? He rarely wears perfume, and usually has a light scent of shower gel on his body. Yeah, I sprayed a little. Oh, you don't like perfume, right? Why did you spray it today? And you're dressed so formally. He didn't answer my question, but took out a bottle of red wine from the cabinet. Drink some later. I drove here. I'll take you back later. That's good. Thinking about the last time Mark ordered a bottle of the most expensive red wine in the restaurant, which I didn't even taste, I'm going to drink more this time, as his wines must be good. Mark laid out the dishes and opened the wine. Come sit down and eat quickly. As soon as he finished speaking, the whole office suddenly fell into darkness. I was startled. The lights in the building opposite were still on. Mark, you don't have no money to pay the electricity bill, so the power is out. There must be a power outage. I have candles. You even have candles in your office. There have been power outages before. He turned on the light from his cell phone and lit the candle, and the whole room became bright again. Mark met my gaze, opened the car door, and said in a low voice, come in, don't waste time. I always feel that Mark is a little weird tonight, like a peacock about to spread its tail. Mark ate slowly and put a chicken leg into my bowl, drink less wine and eat more vegetables. I must be a little drunk. I licked my lips and blinked. Mark, is this wine expensive? It tastes so good. He quoted an astronomical figure, which scared me so much that I drank another glass. He put down his chopsticks and looked at me. Linda, does the promise you made to me last time still count? Certainly. His eyes were dark, staring straight at me. Do you want to date me? My heart shrank, and then I froze in silence for a moment. He repeated it in a clear voice. Do you want to date me, Linda? The burning gaze is full of anticipation. His heart skipped a beat, he narrowed his eyes, and said slowly, okay. He leaned over and looked me in the eye, his voice more intoxicating than the night. Are you drunk? Her eyes suddenly brightened, and she looked at the handsome man opposite her, and said seriously, word by word, I like you, boyfriend. His Adam's apple rolled, and he suppressed the trembling of his voice. I only like you, my girlfriend. The whole room suddenly became bright, the electricity came back, and Mark suddenly had a bouquet of roses in his hand, which was so beautiful. The car stopped in front of the villa. He unbuckled his seat belt, but was reluctant to get out. What's wrong? Are you stupid? This feels so unreal. Are we in love? The man said proudly, of course. Mark, can you kiss? Give me a kiss. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. You look very kissable. The man tightened his grip on the steering wheel, his eyes dimmed. Linda, you can do whatever you want to me. Then lower your head. The next second, her gentle lips pressed directly against his, kissing him without any rules. Mark took the initiative and bit my lips. Linda, close your eyes. The dense and fine kisses fell domineeringly, and a completely unfamiliar breath swallowed me up. When they separated, the man's eyes were dark and hot, and his voice was low and hoarse. Linda, I'm so happy.